So,
I guess I could if you want me to.
All right, I got Christmas gifts here.
Great.
Courtesy of
Yay.
Panini. Bless you, Marvin. So this is the special Caitlin Clark chronicled 100 card set, and it's the book Caitlin Clark. You got the Time magazine.
That single reaction from Dan Patrick tells you more than 1,000 debates ever could. When one of the most experienced voices in sports media receives a brand new trading card collection and his first instinct is don't open it, that's not casual advice. That's recognition. Patrick has seen trends come and go, hype rise and collapse, and collectibles explode and disappear. His reaction wasn't emotional, it was calculated. And it immediately framed Caitlin Clark as something far bigger than just another rookie athlete. Before the product even reached the general public, the market had already rendered its verdict. Target's entire pre-order inventory vanished within hours, even at a premium price point of $85 per box. That's not impulse buying. That's demand driven by belief. Belief that this item holds future value. Collectors, investors, and even casual fans weren't buying cardboard. They were buying a moment frozen in time. What makes this remarkable is when it's happening. Caitlin Clark hasn't had a decade-long pro career. She hasn't accumulated championships or MVPs at the WNBA level yet. And still, her memorabilia is being treated like a long-term asset. That doesn't happen unless the audience believes they are witnessing the beginning of something historically significant. This is where the conversation shifts from popularity to value. Popularity is temporary. Value is sustained. The speed at which these boxes sold out tells us Clark's appeal isn't limited to existing WNBA fans. She's pulling in collectors who usually don't touch women's basketball products at all. That expansion of audience is everything. The bigger implication is uncomfortable for some people in the league, because this kind of response exposes a disconnect between internal league narratives and external reality. While debates rage about whether Caitlin Clark deserves certain labels, the market has already crowned her relevance. And markets don't care about politics, hierarchy, or seniority. They respond to attention, demand, and cultural gravity. This moment isn't about cards. It's about proof. Proof that Caitlin Clark's presence has already reshaped how people engage with the WNBA financially, emotionally, and culturally. And once that kind of shift happens, there's no going back.
This Doug Gottlieb's the one that said that she needs to.
It's not
change.
great. It's not great.
That is an awesome form right there.
That's right. It's not great. It's awesome.
Yes, yeah.
Two fingers down.
Yeah, when
Got to put it in.
when Doug said that her form
Not great.
needs to change her shot.
It's never going to work at the next level.
All I know is
This is where the
that shot.
entire conversation finally needs to become honest. Being the best player in a league and being the face of that league are not the same thing. They never have been. History across every major sport proves this. The face of a league isn't chosen by efficiency ratings, championships, or tenure. It's chosen by gravity, by who pulls attention toward the sport and expands its audience beyond the existing fan base. That distinction is what Sophie Cunningham was trying to make, even if she said it bluntly. She wasn't dismissing elite players like Aya Wilson, Brianna Stewart, or Sabrina Ionescu. Those players are incredible. They dominate games, win titles, and define excellence on the court. But excellence alone does not grow a league. Visibility does. Cultural reach does. Emotional connection does. The face of a league is the player who gets casual fans to stop scrolling. The one whose highlights reach people who don't normally watch the sport. The one whose name is recognized outside basketball circles. The one whose presence changes television schedules, ticket prices, and media coverage. By every measurable metric, that player right now is Caitlin Clark. This isn't an opinion. It's observable reality. Attendance spikes when she's in town. Ratings jump when she's on national television. Merchandise sells at a level the league has never seen before. Her name trends in spaces where the WNBA rarely existed. That is what face of the league actually means. And this is where some of the resistance comes from. Because acknowledging Clark's position forces a difficult truth. The league's growth is no longer evenly distributed. One player is moving the needle at a speed others simply haven't. That doesn't invalidate anyone else's contributions, but it does disrupt long-standing narratives about hierarchy and seniority. Fans often confuse fairness with reality. It might feel unfair that one player receives disproportionate attention, but leagues don't grow on fairness. They grow on momentum. Michael Jordan didn't become the face of the NBA because other stars weren't great. He became the face because he pulled the league into global relevance. The same pattern is unfolding here. Caitlin Clark's value isn't just in what she does on the court. It's in what happens around the court when she plays. The conversations, the coverage, the curiosity. She brings new eyes, and new eyes bring opportunity for everyone. The uncomfortable truth is this. Denying her role doesn't protect the league. It slows it down. Recognizing the face of a league isn't about crowning one player above all others. It's about understanding where the momentum is coming from and building intelligently around it. And right now, all roads lead to Caitlin Clark.
Sophie Cunningham speaking on Caitlin Clark. Let's roll it.
And it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league,
Yeah.
or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're
Panini didn't just release a trading card set. They constructed an entire narrative ecosystem around one athlete. 100 total cards, 8 packs per box, 32 cards per box. Half of the entire set dedicated solely to Caitlin Clark's WNBA rookie season. Add to that lifestyle cards, off-court imagery, exclusive autographs, and ultra-rare inserts projected to sell for hundreds on their own. And suddenly this stops looking like a product and starts looking like a statement. This kind of treatment is not normal. In fact, it's almost unheard of for a WNBA rookie. Panini reserves this level of focus for generational figures, LeBron James, Tom Brady, athletes whose careers transcend their sport. By structuring the entire release around Clark, Panini made a clear bet. This is a player people will still care about years from now. That decision wasn't sentimental. It was strategic. Card companies live and die by long-term resale value. They study trends, demographics, buying behavior, and cultural momentum obsessively. Panini didn't guess. They followed the data. And the data told them Caitlin Clark is the safest investment in women's basketball collectibles history. What's especially telling is the inclusion of lifestyle cards. That's branding beyond the court. That's Panini acknowledging that Clark exists not just as an athlete, but as a public figure. Someone whose image resonates in spaces that have nothing to do with box scores. That's crossover appeal, and crossover appeal is what builds icons. This also reframes the league conversation entirely. Because while some voices debate whether Clark is being overhyped, the companies putting real money on the line are acting with absolute confidence. They're not waiting to see how things play out. They're planting a flag now. The message is clear. Caitlin Clark isn't being marketed like a promising player. She's being archived like a historical figure in real time. And when corporations start documenting someone this aggressively, it's because they believe the story is only going to grow.
It really like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the
So
league.
that's Sophie Cunningham, man, speaking about Caitlin Clark being the face of the league. Want to know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section right now. Happy holidays to everybody. Try to put out some content later today and throughout the week. Probably chill out as we get closer.
Dan Patrick telling people to keep the box sealed wasn't nostalgia or excitement. It was experience speaking. He lived through the junk wax era when overproduction destroyed the value of sports cards. He watched speculative bubbles burst. He understands the difference between hype and permanence. When someone with that background immediately identifies an item as something that will appreciate over time, it carries weight. Patrick wasn't reacting to Caitlin Clark's current popularity. He was reacting to her trajectory, to the understanding that these cards document the beginning of a cultural shift in women's basketball. Collectors don't chase stats. They chase moments. Rookie years of transformational athletes become historical artifacts. Clark's cards represent the point where women's basketball crossed into mainstream consciousness in a way it never had before. That's why sealing the box matters. It preserves the origin story. There's also a deeper layer here. Patrick's reaction reflects a belief that Clark's influence won't fade when the headlines move on. Her name will still carry meaning years from now. And collectibles only gain value when the story behind them grows, not shrinks. This is why these cards aren't about 5 years. They're about 20. They're about looking back and saying, this is when everything changed. And the people who understand collectibles understand that those moments are rare. The irony is that while some corners of the basketball world debate Clark standing, the long-term thinkers have already locked in their bets. They're not waiting for consensus. They're acting on conviction.
So everybody gets one.
Wow.
Yep.
Here's my one. Nice. My daughter's going to love this.
This is awesome.
Everybody gets one.
Now,
Love it.
question. Should we not unwrap them?
I would not unwrap it if I were
Yeah.
You keeping these? You keeping it in
mint
the package?
condition.
you. I am.
You are.
Yeah.
You're a collector.
I am a collector.
You are.
Yeah.
Ultra rare.
This
color
is
blasting
so. This is
shirt.
what Panini does. They do things different, better than anybody. Maybe if somebody wants to open theirs up, and then I could.
When Sophie Cunningham spoke up, she wasn't trying to stir controversy. She was expressing frustration. Years of watching the same argument play out, while reality kept pointing in one direction. Her statement wasn't polished or diplomatic because it wasn't meant to be. It was raw honesty from someone inside the league, and that's what made it powerful. Cunningham gains nothing by declaring Caitlin Clark the face of the WNBA. She doesn't play with her. She doesn't benefit financially. If anything, she risks backlash from veterans who feel overlooked. That context matters, because it removes the idea that her words were self-serving. She wasn't diminishing other stars. She was drawing a line between excellence and influence, between being great at basketball and being a player who changes how the world sees the league. And those are not the same thing. Players like Sabrina Ionescu, Aya Wilson, and Breanna Stewart are elite. No one disputes that. But Cunningham is pointing out something uncomfortable. Dominance doesn't automatically translate to cultural leadership. Visibility does. Reach does. Impact outside the core fan base does. And Caitlin Clark checks all of those boxes.